Welcome to day 24. We're going to reflect on Acts chapter 16, verses 16 to 40. In this passage, we see how Paul casted out a spirit that predicts the future from a girl, which resulted for her masters to be angry at them, for their means of income was lost. Because of their anger, they made up stories against Paul and Silas before the authorities. Without fair trial, they have been flogged and put into prison. While in prison, they still chose to pray and sing hymns to God. At midnight, there was a violent earthquake that shook the foundations of the prison, that made the prison doors open, and the chains of the prisoners came loose. In these situations, we can say that it could be God's miraculous way for them to go out of prison, just like when Peter was in prison in Acts chapter 12. But aligned with the Holy Spirit, they did not go out. It resulted to saving the life of the jailer who was about to kill himself, thinking the prisoners escaped, and also his salvation, along with his family. We see Paul and his companions facing trouble after trouble on their way to fulfilling the work that God asked them to do. But one thing we see in them, despite the trouble they faced, was that God was accomplishing something beautiful. Speaking of trials, it reminded me of men in the Old Testament who were exiled in Babylon, namely Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, and Daniel. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego refused to bow down to the image of gold, even if it means they will be thrown into the fiery furnace. They are confident that the God they serve is able to rescue them, but they are open that even if God would have had other plans, they will still remain true to God. Also Daniel, who was faithful in prayer, even if it means to be thrown into lion's den. Both situations resulted for them to be delivered from death and trials miraculously, as well as kings acknowledging that the God they serve is the living God. Jesus did not promise us that if we follow Him, there will be no trials and troubles. But He assures us that He will be with us and He will make things beautiful in His time. We may not understand why you have to go through such trials, but kapit lang best kay Lord. As you hold on to Him and cry out to Him, God will deliver you in His ways and in His time. Through your trials, it could also lead to the salvation and deliverance of others.